In this video, we'll discuss ways to make living at or below your means easier and provide advice on how to maintain a good quality of life while still making ends meet. Stay tuned for our top advice on how to make life a little easier. Number 1. Create a budget with wiggle room. Even if you are needing to tighten the belt a bit, you shouldn't throw away all of your hobbies and leisure activities. Statistically speaking, you are more likely to hold true to your budget if you afford yourself a couple of liberties too. If you treat your situation like it's prison, you're going to be desperately searching for ways to escape. And that's not the approach you want to take to your finances. Living frugally has to be something you enjoy, or else it's never going to work. Living below your means is difficult enough on its own, but if your heart isn't in it, you're going to cheat on it, and in the same vein, cheat yourself out of money. Your budget is a lot like a good diet. It only really works if you're invested in it. People get sidetracked by budgets that can save them a lot of money, but it's not until they are actually living within the confines of one that they realize the drawbacks. Number 2, make sure you are making enough income. It's not unusual that someone will go in for financial advice claiming that they've cut everything only for them to be correct. You see, your budgeting is only going to get you so far, and eventually you will have to adjust the amount of money you are making too. Budgeting can't overcome a lack of income. And so if you feel like you're doing everything you can to limit spending, you may have to also look at how much you are able to pull in. Situations like this are often why people look for advances like promotions, employment elsewhere, or even a career change. There's such a thing as outgrowing your situation, and it can really sneak up on people. You are to be commended for living such a frugal lifestyle, but there really is nothing more you can do if you feel like income is the real issue. Number 3, get rid of your memberships. It's not all that unusual to hear stories about people wasting over $100 a month on streaming services they are too lazy to cancel. The thing is, this problem is a lot more common than you may think, and there are even more people out there that just don't know their wallet is being emptied needlessly every month. Streaming services are so approachable, usually only $5 or $10 after a free trial period for most setup. That encourages people to buy, but most people either forget or ignore the fact that they are spending a whole lot of money on these services that they may have only used the one time. Companies also make it somewhat hard to cancel memberships too, making it all the more likely you won't want to bother with the trouble. Don't let these companies steal your hard-earned money, and don't let them eat up your budget. You could have so much more money to work with every month if you just commit to canceling all of your unnecessary streaming services and membership plans. Number 4, turn on automatic transfers. Chances are that you have a lot of money going to a lot of different places every day, week, and month. In today's digital world, money is always being shuffled around, and in order to keep things going, you are always sending money to utilities, loan companies, and more. Turning on automatic transfers is a really good way to make sure that everything gets where it needs to go. But it also keeps you from having that moment of doubt. You know, the one that sees the money go into your account and wants to spend it on something. Automatic transfers are also really good for people that happen to be sensitive about their money, since you don't have to really engage with it this way. Automatic transfers may not seem like a big deal, but they are consistently listed as one of the most helpful financial tips you can get, and they can save you a lot of mental work by just letting them do their thing. Number 5, cut down money on food. We'll get to that in a second. I have a favor to ask of you. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel. Probably the best piece of advice that we could give anyone looking to live within their means is to look closely at your food budget every week. If you're ordering a lot of fast food or you're going out to eat multiple times a week, you may want to see if there's anything you can cut down on. Food is a social experience, and it tends to be one that costs us more money than we really realize. Going out to eat can cost you multiple times more than you would on a meal at home, and that's excluding any drinks or follow-up purchases you make from being out. There's more to food than obviously just the social side, though, as we need a lot of it to survive. Hunger is a really strong urge and can override our desire to save money when we start to feel like it's time to eat. Meal prepping is a common way that people slash their food budget, since it takes out those hungry choices you might otherwise make. Food is more or less important person to person, and so figure out how much you're willing to spend on it and adjust your budget accordingly. Number 6, live with others. If you're trying to do things all on your own, you may be having a harder time right now. Living alone is tough, and there's no one to pick up the slack for you. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or just trying to cut down your spending, you may find it more difficult to do on your own. That's one of the best parts of living with others though, and whether it's a roommate or friend, living with another person can have great effects on your life. For one, it cuts down on rent by at least a half and allows for you to potentially live in better areas with the both of you chipping in. You also have someone to help cook, clean, and buy the supplies that those activities require. Living with others makes your cost of living shrink down a lot and can help you save money for long-term saving and other pursuits. Number 7, live close to family. Another strategy that people naturally take advantage of is living close to family. If your parents are in a more stable place, they can potentially help with small purchases like furniture, food, or laundry while you're getting settled. Living close to home has a lot of benefits and also just gives you another resource to take advantage of. Living near siblings or relatives is a good way to network and has a lot of advantages in terms of community building. It may not always seem like it, but studies usually show a correlation between quality of life and distance from family members. Living near family can be a great resource, as then you don't have to pay for a dog sitter or babysitter either. All in all, family is something that people don't often realize can be as helpful as it is, and it could be costing them monetarily too. Number 8, don't lean on credit cards. Credit card spending can lead to pretty big problems. Credit card spending got popular mostly based on how convenient it was compared to carrying around large sums of dollar bills or writing a check. As a result, people got used to pulling out a credit card whenever they needed to buy something, and now we are a few generations into that pattern. Today, only about 35% of the American population has zero credit card debt, while 65% has at least some form of credit debt hanging over them. It's just too easy to fall into trouble with credit card debt, and it really does seem to just sneak up on some people. The best course of action to fix this is to try and stay away from using your credit card a whole lot, and to be pretty cautious with it. Try to carry cash when you can, and only use what you know you are able to pay off. Number 9, put your savings away from touch. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make is putting their savings somewhere that they can easily access. We all have urges to spend money on things we want in the moment, and the best of us put our savings somewhere safe that we can't just get it right away. Besides, savings should be somewhere that it can best gain interest, which is usually offered to accounts that are unlikely to be accessed directly. Do yourself a favor and put your money somewhere safe so that it can be out of sight, out of mind. Number 10, treat your wealth like a secret. If you are living below your means or anywhere near it, the best thing that you can do is pretend that any wealth you obtain is a secret. Lifestyle inflation can hit people pretty early on, and it usually comes with flashy or expensive clothes. These may seem like a good idea in the moment, but they may be a bit premature too. Before you decide to announce you have arrived, you should at least prepare everything for the entrance. Instead of spending money the second you get it or hastily investing it on a half-baked idea, tuck that money away somewhere and act like it's not even there.